G'day all, it's Colin from PC TLC and thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to be looking at installing Ubuntu 19.10. I'm doing this on Virtualbox for a very good reason. I did try installing on real hardware, or recording it anyway, and didn't have much of a chance on there, so I just thought I'd run through that in Virtualbox, save myself a headache. I will reinstall on the hardware because I have been using it since early this week, off and on with any little chance I had this week to try out. Been checking out the snapshot system and how that works. So the reason why I want to do a fresh install is because if there's any new users coming along to check out my videos and wants to see how to install first off, and then also how to set up the desktop, I'll be running through that as well, and also having a look at the ZFS snapshot as well. So we're going to do that. Now, setting up is always a lot of fun, great videos to make, so I'm looking forward to doing that. So let's get this one started. Enter that and try Ubuntu without installing. Enter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go to display, displays, and we'll give that a better display than what it is now. 1440 by 900 may be a good one. Let's keep the changes on that. Okay, that looks good. So what we're going to do first off is show you my dilemma that I have on real hardware, and that would be, first of all, what I normally do on a live disk is sudo apt update. Now, normally after that, you've updated the repos. You could upgrade it and run an upgraded system on live until you shut down, but I don't know whether many people do that or not. The reason I do that is so I can sudo apt install simple screen recorder. And as you can see, it's unable to locate package simple screen recorder. Now, I'd have to think that probably on most of the distros I try out, that normally works. Now, I don't know about the other Ubuntu derivatives, but on Ubuntu proper or Ubuntu GNOME, whichever one you want to call it, that doesn't work. So I used the snap on real hardware. I installed the snap, and then I did a test recording on that. And then I tried to play it back, but I didn't have the codecs. So then on the live disk, I sudo apt install Ubuntu restricted extras. Ubuntu restricted extras and unable to locate package. So I thought, all right, probably best to do this on Virtualbox. It'll make things easier, remove the headache. So I don't know why that is. I'm not sure whether something's changed and there's something else you have to do to get these things going, but definitely not working for me. So that's why I'm doing an install on Virtualbox. So let's get that started. Now, before I go all the way with this, what I want to show you is, let's just go to gparted and open that up. Now, this is the disk on Virtualbox, 40 gig. Now, what I did was, I've messed around with this a couple of times in Virtualbox. And the reason why I was messing around with it is I actually split this up into two partitions, 20 gig and 20 gig. And I just wanted to see whether the installer give me an option of which partition to install it to. However, it doesn't. Not for the ZFS anyway. So I just thought I would let you know I've tried that. So English US, good for me. Download updates and install third party. Now, that's what I normally do on real hardware. It's probably not worthwhile doing it on Virtualbox because it takes up longer time. I'll just do it anyway. Shouldn't take up too much more time. So that's what you would normally do when you're installing Ubuntu. The third party gives you your graphics card drivers, your Wi-Fi hardware, and additional media formats as in codecs, which is what I'm missing to play back any video on the live disk. So now what you can do, you can erase disk and install Ubuntu. So if you've got a disk that you've backed up all your data, or you've got an operating system on there and you've backed up all your data and you don't want it, and you just want to completely wipe it off and delete everything, warning, this will delete all your programs. Then you would just do that and click install now. That's the most simple install you can get. And you can also choose to encrypt as well and use a logical volume management as well. It allows taking snapshots and easier partition resizing. Now I haven't tried that one, and that's interesting because you can do snapshots with the ZFS as well. So I didn't know you could do that with that. So maybe I'll have to look at that in the future. Now normally I would do something else and manually create my partitions, as in a boot partition, the root partition where the operating system's installed, and also leave the rest for data and keep it separate from the operating system. But in this case, I'm going to erase disk and use ZFS. So same as this one, erase disk. So it does not give you a choice of which partition. If you've got data on another partition and you're going to try this, it will wipe everything off and delete everything. So just keep that in mind. So it's best to just allocate a full disk for this to be used on. So it's install now and continue that. Australia Perth is good for me. Now I normally use my name here. What I might do is just go for PCTLC. And to identify your computer on your home network, I'll call this Ubuntu /-ZFS, so I know which one it is. It already exists because I've played around with it before. Username, PCTLC, and password. That's a fair password. Okay, let's continue that. So that is the installation of Ubuntu 19.10 with the ZF file system complete. We shall shut this one down and move over to the desktop PC. I will do a fresh install and we'll have a look around, set up, and look at the advantages of the ZFS file system. So we are on the real hardware with Ubuntu 19.10. We've got some type of greeting screen here. Connect your online account. I will skip that. Send system info to Canonical. Yes, I'll do that because it's real hardware. Next. Location services. If you wish to use the location services, I will skip that. And you're ready to go. You can install software. They give you a little bit of a look at what software is available, maybe some curated selections there to get you started. Yep, Spotify, VLC, OBS, Audacity, Simple Note. Okay, so there's a few things, Darktable, a few things to look at. And then if you wanted to install software, you've got a link here to Open Software Now. We'll do that. And there's your software. And if you want to look for software, hit the super button, type in SOF for software, Ubuntu software, which is that one there. You can see that. Software and updates, and the software updater. And there's the Ubuntu software. That's a bit of a criticism I have of the GNOME desktop is it's a bit annoying that it doesn't have a little tooltip there to finish off what that name is, and that's just a bit annoying to me. That's just my opinion, but I mean I just find that annoying. I use the GNOME desktop a lot, but I know what I'm looking for, but people, new users, may be a little bit confused about what that is unless they can read the whole thing. So yeah. So click the done button. We are done. We've got the software updater here. Details of updates. So they're the first lot of updates coming through after a fresh install. So we'll install that now. We'll do some updates first. And as you can see, it's got a line going across the software updater there. I think that's, I'm not sure if that's new to this one or 1904. Cannot remember. I think it was new in 1904, that progress bar in the app, which is what the Unity desktop used to do. So that's a nice little touch. You can see the progress of updates there, or you can click on that and have a look at the details, and it'll show you what it's doing within a terminal. So the updates are complete and the software on this computer is up to date, and click on OK there. Updates are done. So first of all, if you're new to Ubuntu, you may want to get something called the Tweak tool, which is not installed. So if you type Tweak there, may give you an option GNOME Tweaks, and that'll take you probably to Ubuntu software. So that's one thing you can do. Let's click on that and see what it does for us. GNOME Tweaks and install. Now the other way you can do that is you can go to this one here, Ubuntu software, search for Tweak, and you got the Mate Tweak, but we want the GNOME Tweaks because we're on the GNOME desktop. So that's the options you've got for doing that. So I like the way it can navigate you to the Ubuntu software just through a search within the GNOME shell. So let's do that. GNOME Tweaks and install. Put in your password. Now that's GNOME Tweaks installed. You can launch from here. But what you can do is hit the super key, type in TWE tweaks, hit the enter button, and from here you can do all sorts of things in the tweak tool. Change the appearance, mess around with some settings on extensions if you've got any installed, change your fonts, keyboard and mouse, startup applications you can add here if you need to. The top bar, you can add the activities overview hot corner, which is that one there, or you can turn it off. Window title bars, you can turn off these title bars here and here and just have the close button, or you can turn them on. Placement, you can have them on the left or you can have them on the right. So what we want to do is extensions. Now as you'll see here, there's a bit of a message here to install the browser extension. So click here to install the browser extension, continue to installation. That'll put a browser extension in there. We just click add, and the integration has been added to Firefox. Okay, got it. Now you need to close that and then start it again. 9.9 times out of 10, there's still one more step to go. So you could try and install things, but it tells you, although GNOME Shell integration extension is running, native host connector is not detected. So go to the documentation, click on that. We're looking for Ubuntu in this case. So we've got Arch, Debian, Fedora, Gentoo, Ubuntu. Now I don't know if we can do this in the Software Center. Chrome GNOME Shell. See if we can find that. Interesting. Yeah, I was hoping to do everything in the GUI, but it doesn't look like we can. Chrome-GNOME-Shell. No, doesn't want to find it. Now, if we go to Software Store again, and we look for Synaptic, now sometimes the question gets asked, can we do everything without the interference or the intervention of the terminal? Well, in the Software Center, you can install Synaptic Package Manager. You can do that. And in Synaptic Package Manager, you can use it's not a complete, beautiful interface, but it is still a GUI to do things like the Chrome GNOME Shell. And this one here is your little gateway between Ubuntu software, or the Software Center, Software Store, whichever one you want to call it, and the terminal. So if you don't want to use the terminal, this one here. So in between the terminal and Ubuntu software, you have Synaptic Package Manager. In this case, we could sudo apt install Chrome GNOME shell, copy that into the terminal, paste it and press enter. Or we can go to the Synaptic Package Manager. We can do a search for Chrome GNOME shell. Actually, let's just see if we can do that without the dashes and see if it finds it, because nobody knows how to. People are probably not aware that you need to put dashes, so we'll try it without it, see what we come up with. Chrome GNOME shell. So we can tick that, left click again to mark for installation, and apply that. So that's the two different ways you can do that, from here or from here. Either way, it's the same thing. We'll apply that and apply that. And no terminal needed in this case. Changes are applied. So if you know what you're looking for, it's handy. If you don't, if you come to this and it's telling you this, well then after the install, just look for that package there, and that's all you need to do. So we'll close that, close Synaptic Package Manager, and open up Firefox again, go back to extensions, and now you'll see there's no errors, no messages. That means we are okay to go. Now there's a couple of extensions I like to install. The user themes allows you to change the theme of this panel, this bar here, and this panel across the top. Now I'm pretty sure it changes both. Not 100% sure about that, but that's how you can change your panels. And this is the dash to dock here, but this is the Ubuntu version. So first of all, we'll install user themes. Just toggle that on. It'll ask you to install it. So let's go to Tweak. Now we can right click here. We can add to favorites, or we can open that up, and when it's here, we can add to favorites from here. It'll be permanently available on this dock here, and I might do that with Simple Screen Recorder as well. Add to favorites. It's been added to your favorites. Okay, close the message. So now in extensions, we should have user themes. So when you go to appearance, the shell is what we're looking at. It's just running default at the moment. There's nothing else there. So if you wanted to do a theme for the shell, if you go to, let's do a search for GNOME Look. That's where you can get all your themes. Now, if you want to change the themes of the window and the title bar and so forth, then the window and title bar will be in GNOME GTK 3. But if you want to change the shell here, you need to go to GNOME Shell, which is this one here, GNOME Shell Themes. And you also got some icons there as well. So you got a transparent shell theme. Transparent GNOME Shell seems to be up there all the time. Let's try that one, because a lot of people like the transparent shell. So you can see that theme is transparent up top there. Like I said, I'm not sure if it affects the dock or not. Maybe not. It may do, but we can check that out. It's got 5 files there, transparent shell theme. Let's just download that one. I don't know if you can install from here. I've never tried that before. Download that and save the file. And also, if you're doing shell themes or GTK3 themes, all you need to do is go to your home page here, Control H to show hidden files, which will have a dot in front of them. Right click, new folder, call it .themes, and any shell themes or GTK3 themes can go inside of that. So we cut this one into themes, paste it there, extract it here. That's the extracted folder. Now you'll find that there's another folder inside, GNOME Shell. So this one won't do you any good. You've got to take this folder out of here, cut that out of there and put it in .themes and paste. That's the main folder. This one was inside that folder. Now we should have an option. We need to close the tweak tool and reopen. Appearance, transparent shell. And there you have a transparent shell on the dock. So let's just have a look at that with something. So you've even got transparency on the context menu here. So let's change the background, and let's have a look at the background. Now this is something that's made different as well. It used to be different. Now what you've got is an option. When you left click this, you can set background or the lock screen. So I'm going to set background. And there you can see the transparency there. Transparency there. Okay, so that's our shell theme done. Now let's have a look at GTK3 themes. It's a couple of, well, there's one GTK3 theme I like, and there's a very good reason why I'm doing the themes as well, and you'll find out why. So this is the one here, Quagga theme, that I've been using in a lot of my videos lately. Quite like that theme. So I like the, I think it's the Quagga Win Dark it may be, or Quagga Win. I think it's the Quagga Win. Just download that, save that, and go to our downloads, cut that into .themes, paste that and extract here. Quagga Win, when you see the GTK 2 and 3 and so forth, you know that's the actual folder that should be there. There's no other folders within the folder, so that's okay. Let's go to our tweak tool. Let's close that and open it back up again. Go to our appearance and applications, you'll have Quagga. And that's the one. So I like the one with the dark top and the white in the middle and dark down the side. That looks quite good. So I quite like that. So that's that theme done. Now the other thing that we can do is under extensions, we'll go back to the main page there. I like to use dash to panel, and we have a look at the picture there. It shows you what it does. So currently I have Simple Screen Recorder as an app indicator running up here. So that all looks good. Let's toggle that on. Let's install that. And there we have our dash to panel down the bottom, which gives us that very familiar type layout that we're probably all used to. So one more thing we shall do is we'll go to here and have a look at some icons, icon themes. Let's look for Dharmas. Oh, that's a nice little search there. That's that one there I'm looking for. And we've got the Papyrus there as well. I might install that as well. They're the two icon sets using at the moment. So we'll go to this one here, download that, follow the link, and save file. Then we'll go back and look at the Papyrus. Let's install that one. Papyrus icon theme, download that, save file. Now extensions, while that's downloading, or is it complete? Oh, that's complete. So let's do that first. Let's go to our downloads. So let's cut both of those into home, create new folder called .icons, and paste them into there and extract here as well. Okay, extracted two files. You probably find that the Papyrus icon set takes a long time to extract because you do have all of these in there. So these are subfolders. Cut those back out into .icons. So it extracts it out of here, but keeps it within that folder, so you've got to bring them out. So if we go to Tweak Tool and have a look at Appearance and go to Icons, we've got Dharmas there, icon set. So Control H to hide those hidden files or folders. So that's the Dharmas icon set, and then you've got the Papyrus icon set, which is slightly different again. We'll have a quick look at all software. That's Papyrus. And we'll go back to Tweak Tool and do Dharmas and check out all the software there with those. So that's those. Okay, so one more extension we may want to look at is, I think it's the Arc menu, I believe. Let's have a look at that one, Arc menu. So the Arc menu is a pretty good menu to have in GNOME Shell. It's quite flexible. We'll switch that on, toggle that on, install that. That should probably show up here. Yes, it did. That transparent shell is Yeah, I might change that for now. Let's go back to tweaks and change that arc menu back to Yaru. Extensions, no, appearance. Let's change that back to, oh, we got the Quagga Wind too. Oh, that's another good one. Yeah, it's a shame we didn't have Quagga Wind Dark. Well, actually, no, what we can do is go to extensions, arc menu, select the settings button, and there's an appearance here, override arc menu, and then that's dark. So maybe what I need in that case is GTK3 themes, Quagga theme, and we probably need Quagga Dark, I think. Go to files, Quagga Wind Dark. Let's try that one. Download that, save it. Go to our files and downloads. Let's cut that into, let's go Control H into themes and paste that there, extract it here. Quagga Wind Dark. So let's just close that and start it back up again. Appearance and name shell, we'll go for Quagga Wind Dark. And there we have dark. So that's a much better menu that suits the that goes with the rest of the theme. So what we'll do now is go back to tweaks, extension, arc menu, settings. Under settings, we have menu layouts. So let's go to the settings button, and in here you'll find all these layouts. You've got the Ubuntu dash style, Redmond style, GNOME dash style, simple menu style, simple menu 2, Mint menu, elementary menu, GNOME menu style, arc menu, brisk, and whisker. So what's the Redmond? Let's have a look at that. So that's that one there. So that sort of does what the Windows 10 menu does with the icons there. Not quite the same, but so let's go back to the settings there. You got the whisker menu style, the brisk menu style. That's probably for another video, I would say, tweaking the dash, the arc menu and the dash to panel. Just a quick look at dash to panel. You now have the options to have on the top, on the left, which you never had options for that before, and on the right or on the bottom. So that is an Ubuntu setup. We've got app indicators running here. I'm not sure about Zoom and all that. I haven't tried that yet. And the other thing that you do have is this little button here, which is Show Desktop, just like Windows 10. So that is a very familiar way of running things, if that's the way you like it, or you might like to use GNOME as presented out of the box. And some people would probably like to do that. So what we can do is we can go to GNOME Tweaks, go to Extensions, you can turn off your arc menu, you can turn off your dash to panel, and Ubuntu dock, you probably need to switch that back on, I think. Oh, there's your dock there, sorry. So you can run your traditional GNOME setup if you want. So that's that. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to have a look at snapshots. I've found a website called How to Create and Destroy ZFS Snapshots on Ubuntu 19.10. And just so you know, I am on Virtualbox, just so you're well aware of that. Another thing you shouldn't do is record how to do snapshots on real hardware, because that doesn't work. So while I think I've lost a day in video editing because I was recording how to do snapshots, and of course when you take a snapshot, your video's all over the place. It didn't actually occur to me till I started editing that part of the video that is not a good idea. So I don't know. Sometimes you just do things and you don't. And, you know, I was thinking to myself, what are you thinking? All right. So let's get on with the snapshots. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a snapshot of the system. So what we've done so far is I've done a setup of the system with in this VirtualBox, I've set it up the same as I had the real hardware. I've got my icons, I've got my themes there, and also I have under .local share gnome shell and extensions. We've got extensions there. So first thing I'm going to do, I don't know if I've got tweak tool installed, so let's see if this offers the tweak. Probably take longer in VirtualBox to do that. Gnome tweaks, install that. So that's gnome tweaks installed. So what I'm going to do is with tweaks is just check out what we've got running here. I've got all the defaults. I have been messing around with this and I was deleting the extensions. I'm not going to bother doing that because it seems to mess up this shell thing here. You can get it back after a reboot and all that. It just messes it around. So what we're going to do is in documents, we can make a new folder called snapshot test. We'll open up a text document, snapshot test, save that into documents and snapshot test. That's there. All right, so what we've done here, I've got a couple of pictures here. One here, I've always liked that picture. It's a good picture. And Windows sucks. So a couple of pictures there. And also in documents, I've got my test. And in my home, we've got my icons and themes. So let's do that. So that's digging deep enough. Because anything that the dot themes in, anything in the dot local share gnome shell will be snapshotted the same as anything else. So I don't have to go too far with this. So I don't want to really delete the extensions. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a snapshot of the system. So let's go to our internet site. Check that out. First steps with ZFS. So you need to find your data sets. So you issue the command ZFS list. So let's do that first of all, ZFS list. And we've found data sets. Now, if we have a look on the web page here, it'll tell you that every directory is either found in the B pool, which is boot, or R pool, which is root pool. So I am in the R pool. There's an example there, so I'll show you mine. And there's me there in the R pool, home PC TLC, and then you got this one here, the root. So that's your data set. So this has got a specific name and extension on there. That's fine. When we are doing this, we can just hit the tab key. We don't have to type that in. Hitting the tab key makes it easier. Because it's there already, it'll find it. So what we're going to do is, first of all, create a snapshot. So let's do that first of all. Creating a snapshot. So we're going to sudo ZFS snapshot /US uppercase, hit the tab key, user data, / and PC and tab, and it's found that. Now the only thing there is it's put the @ symbol with a space, so we just backspace 1, and we need to give it a name. Now here they're recommending a date. You could probably do that. I'm just going to call this a snapshot 1 and enter. Put in the password and snapshot done. So that's the snapshot. So we'll lower them down, minimize those windows. Now what we're going to do is go through the system, documents, we're going to move that to rubbish. Pictures, move them to rubbish. Go to my home folder, go to my themes. Well, actually, before I do that, which is the reason why I installed the Tweak tool, and we'll set that to favorites, appearance. We'll use, it's all set on Yaru, so that's all right. It's all set on default, so that's all right. I'm not going to get rid of my extension, so that's fine. So let's move that to rubbish. Go to icons, move them to rubbish, and that's done. So if we go to rubbish bin and we empty rubbish bin, which means all those pictures and documents and themes and icons and so forth will be permanently deleted from the system. So let's do that first. So that's our rubbish bin emptied out and all those items permanently deleted. So let's just check that out. Pictures gone, documents gone, dot themes nothing, and dot icons nothing. So they've all been permanently deleted. So what we're going to do now is check out how to roll back a snapshot. So, oh my God, we have deleted some stuff that we didn't want to get rid of. So we need to roll back a snapshot and get that stuff back. So they've got some examples here of a date or an alternative date. So before we do anything, let's just verify. Well, I should have done that first, probably. ZFS list -t snapshot. What that'll do is verify that your snapshot has been taken, and there it is, snapshot 1. So the snapshot has been taken. It exists, so it's not a problem. We should be right to go. Although I've deleted everything anyway. We'll be right to go anyway. It looks like the snapshot works. So what we're going to do now is roll back a snapshot. So in this example here on the website, they've removed the documents folder. So I've done it slightly different to that. So roll back the snapshot. This is what we're going to do. The command we are going to give it is sudo ZFS rollback rp tab /US uppercase tab key PC tab key, go back one and type snapshot 1 and enter that, and snapshot should have been rolled back. So let's check that out. So we now go back to our file browser, Nautilus, and have a look in documents. We have our snapshot test back there. Snapshot test, there we go. Pictures, our pictures are back. Dot icons, all the icons are available, and dot themes, so all the themes are there. So if we go to the Tweak tool, we should be able to implement our themes. So Quokka Win for that one, Dharma Dharmas for the icons, and Quokka Win Dark for the panel and the arc theme, the arc menu theme. So that all fits in together. So that all looks good, very consistent. So we've got the shell theme going, the Dharma Dharmas. Now there should be 2 shell themes. There's a transparent one as well. That's transparent, and your context menu is also transparent. But I find it a bit hard, depending on the background, to see that menu with a transparent background. That's why I thought I would go for the Win Dark. So that's all working great, not a problem. So now our snapshot has worked, but maybe we don't want that snapshot. We want to make another snapshot. Now I've messed around with this many times at the moment, all this week, been playing around with it. So now the next step is to have a look at destroying snapshots. The reason for destroying a snapshot, maybe you no longer want that snapshot and you want to make another one. Now, I'm not sure if you can have 2 snapshots at once. I'm not 100% sure about that, but you can choose to hold a snapshot so you cannot destroy it. But in order to destroy it, you need to give it this -D option. So I've tried that already and I couldn't delete it anyway. It wouldn't delete. It's still there on the system. I've tried many times to delete it, it won't delete. Now when I tried to use that snapshot with another snapshot available, it comes up with an error that you cannot use that snapshot. There's a more recent snapshot installed, so you have to go to the most recent one. So I suppose the reason for destroying a snapshot would be that you've taken a snapshot of the system, but you've done so much more with the system since then, added a lot more documentation and so forth, so that snapshot would no longer be relevant. So you destroy that and then you take another snapshot. So I would say that would be the reason. For example, if we had in documents a whole heap of documents here, let me save that into the templates and call it new text document. Okay, let's close that, and we'll also do the same thing with our Office programs, LibreOffice Calc. Okay, file, save as. We're going to put that into templates. Oh yeah, just call it new spreadsheet. Call it what you like. Save that. And we shall also do the same thing with LibreOffice Writer. Save as, template, new Word document. Save that. So what we can do here in Documents is right click and create a new spreadsheet. Rename that to, let's call it budgets. And then we can go new Word document. We'll rename that. Call it homework. And we can do also a new text document, test snapshot. So now we've added some things to it. Now I don't know if we can do more than one snapshot. So let's try that. So we're going to create another snapshot. That's arrow up to get back to our previous commands, and we will call this snapshot 2. So sudo ZFS snapshot blah 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 snapshot 2 and enter that. So now we should have a list with 2 snapshots. And there we go. Now the second snapshot is 60 kilobytes, but the first one is 9.42 megabytes, so that's very interesting. What I want to see what we can do is if we can use the second snapshot with that first one available. So let's, once again, let's delete everything. Well, we'll delete that snapshot test and these ones here. Move to rubbish bin, go to rubbish bin. So they're all deleted. There's nothing in the rubbish bin either. Let's clear this and let's roll back to snapshot 2. So we'll arrow up and do a rollback to snapshot 2 and see what it says. So this is what happens when you do this. It seems to be stuck and it doesn't seem to like any more than one snapshot. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to terminate that. So what we're going to do is we're going to, with an error like that, I'm going to log out of the system. Well, actually what I'm going to do is restart. Now sometimes in this case it can take a long time to shut down. So I'm going to power off the machine and I'm going to restart. Okay, so what we need to do is we probably need to destroy snapshot 2 or snapshot 1. See, I'm not sure what the deal is with this situation. So if we, let's check this out, sudo snapshot 1, let's destroy that. So that's done. So what we're now going to do is roll back snapshot 2. So roll back snapshot 2. So that's done. Now all our documents are back. So it seems to error out when you have a couple of snapshots, especially if you're trying to do a snapshot of a most recent one and there's an earlier one. It doesn't like it. You need to delete or destroy that previous one. So that's interesting indeed. So let's have a look at our snapshot list again and see what the information is on snapshot 2 now. Now it's 516K or kilobytes. So it's taken over the snapshot 1. So it doesn't seem to like any other snapshots. It only seems to like only one snapshot available. So if you've been doing a lot of updating on the system, you can destroy that snapshot. You can probably take a snapshot first, maybe snapshot 3, and then destroy snapshot 2 after it, and that maybe just in case something goes wrong in between snapshotting. Who knows? So let's do this one. Let's try this here. We're going to put a hold on this one so we can't destroy it. So sudo ZFS hold keep snapshot 2, and that's had a hold on that. So if we try and destroy snapshot 2, let's go to destroy, and we're going to destroy snapshot 2. Cannot destroy snapshot, dataset is busy, so it won't allow you to destroy that. I'm going to do another quick reboot. So we're going to have a look at what our snapshot list is now. It should be just snapshot 2. So we can't destroy that because that's had a hold put on it. So we will try and destroy it. So destroying a snapshot. So if you want to destroy the one which is on hold, let's see whether it does that or not. So sudo ZFS destroy -d pull user data PC at snapshot 2. So in theory that should have deleted my snapshot 2, but as you can see it is still there. It's been put on hold. I've tried to delete it with the extra option of -d, but it still hasn't deleted that snapshot. Now it does say you can force delete it, I think. If I was to do another snapshot, we'll create another snapshot and see whether we can force delete that existing snapshot. So sudo ZFS snapshot 3. So we've created another snapshot. So now what we're going to do is roll back to the snapshot number 2. Well, let's check out my list of snapshots first. Yep, snapshot 2. So we're going to roll back to snapshot 2. Roll back to snapshot 2. And it tells you to use -r to force deletion of the following snapshots and bookmarks. Snapshot 3 if you want to use snapshot 2. This is the thing. So effectively what you need to do is you need to delete snapshot 3. So let's destroy snapshot 3 and check out our list of snapshots. Now we only have snapshot 2. So it doesn't seem to like to have any more snapshots than one snapshot from what I can see. I may be a little bit lacking in knowledge when it comes to this, so that may be the reason why. But that is the end of that. If we go to the end of that, that was destroying a held snapshot, which you can clearly see it doesn't do. I tried that, didn't work. So that was Ubuntu 19.10 install with the ZFS file system, tweaking the desktop, putting in some themes and icons, and changing the layout structure with some extensions, and also having a look at snapshots. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting and informative, and thanks for watching.